Welcome back to Harry's Jeti Clinic, and this is Sequencer episode 3. In this one I am going to show you how to make an even more complex set of sequencers, this time where you have two sets of doors, one which opens and closes with the legs going up and down, and the other which simply stays open when the legs are down. Are there such things? Yes, I have the Philip Avon's F104 Starfighter with the scale retracts, and in the Starfighter there are three sets of doors. There's the nose wheel doors, there are doors over the main wheels, and there's doors over the main legs. Now when you select wheels down, all the doors open, and the doors over the legs and the nose leg stay open, but the doors over the wheelbase close again, like the P51 Mustang did. And therefore when you select up, the doors over the wheelbase have to open, then the legs can come up, and then all three sets of doors close. So there are two door valves, one for each type, of course. So let's see how we're going to do that. If you have not already watched episode 1 and episode 2, then I strongly recommend you do, because what I'm going to do is simply build on what's already happened, and I'm not going to explain it all from scratch again in this video. So also you might think, why am I doing some things which seem to duplicate others? The logic for what I am doing is all explained in episode 1, so please do have a look at episode 1 if you haven't seen it yet. So we'll go into, first of all, I'm going to go into Model, and I'm going to go into Servo Assignment, and I'm going to assign Channel 8 to Door. If you're wondering why, as I said, look in episode 1 to see the logic behind what I'm doing. Say OK, and come out of there, off to our sequencer. Right. Sequencer. Now, we've already set up the gear and doors, so we'll come down to sequencer number 3. We'll leave the sequencer in place for the doors that have to open and close. I can just add in a nice simple one for the doors that remain open. So once again, we'll come down to assign the switch. I've put my switch in the off position, put the switch to the on position, say OK to that. We'll come down to Advanced, and we'll call it Door 2, just to differentiate it from Doors. Say OK, and we're going to be using Channel 8 for it, to overwrite it. OK to that. Right, now we can actually program the sequencer. Come along here at time 0. We need to create a new point. The value is plus 100. Yes, the doors are fully up. And then at time 0.1 of a second, I would use 0.1 of a second with an air-driven valve, or if I had to open a servo-driven door very quickly. However, let's, like the main doors here, let's assume that it's a servo-driven door and we'd like it to open at a nice sort of scale speed over 1 second. So we come along to 1 second of time, add a new point, but the value of that point will be minus 100. In other words, fully open. And think what happens when we select gear up. Do you want it to go straight from being open to shut? No, you do not. You want it to delay so that the gear has time to come up. So we'll create a new point for that, just to give it some delay. And let's give it, just to show the differentiation between the other door, there, plus a new point. That's it. And that really is it. Say OK. Let's come over here. Introduce the third valve, or the third servo driven door. So once again, gear, door 1 that goes from closed, open, closed, and these doors simply open. I'll switch to the up position. It's in the down, gear in the down position at the moment. So gear is down, doors are closed, doors are open. If I switch up, there we go. If I switch down, doors should open, gear will come down, doors should close. And once more switching up, doors should open, wheels come up, both doors close. Yeah. There we are. Easy peasy. If we can get back in focus, back into sequencer, and we'll look at another of the advanced properties. Let's come down to advanced. At the moment, remember, the graphs we've drawn, when the switch goes on, the sequencer runs from left to right. When the switch goes off, it runs from right to left, which is why I put in, the extra timings there. What if you want a completely different set of timings, or even sort of motion on the way up? Go into advanced. We're in Q3 at the moment, i.e. door 2. Come down here, type of path symmetrical. Symmetrical means that it simply runs from left to right and then right to left on that graph. You can change it to being asymmetrical, and it will give you a separate graph now for the up traveling and the down traveling. Okay, so if we choose that, say OK, and you just operate it by the switches. So we're in door 2, there, switching down, switch on, there's the graph we've set. Now, before, when I switched up, it ran that way along the graph, but now, because I've said it's asymmetrical, it blanks it out and allows us to choose a completely different graph for the legs up. And just to prove that, what we'll do is come up here, time 0, so it's almost running in reverse of the time in reverse of these ones. Time 0, well, the door would have been in the down position, so we'll set, we're happy with that value of -100, yep. And then let's have it run, what shall we do? We'll pick it just to run very slowly over that way. Okie doke. So it will now behave totally differently. Switching down and switching up. So we've got independent curves and timings for each direction. Hope you can join me on the next video for something else.